Peace, Sister Zeta. How you doing today? Let's see if a couple more folk want to get in. That's good. Let's see if anybody else wants to join in today. Had this little quick discussion like we do. Online, on time. Sister Erica up in the house. How you doing? Well, we'll kick it off because way too much longer. I'll burn up my time. Okay, so great dilemma. You hear metaphysical teachers, including myself, right on getting that double work in, working for the money and working the mind. That's what's up. We hear a lot of metaphysical teachers, myself included. We talk about how in countless places you find evidence of us being gods that are in flesh. And one conversation we could have is really just going in depth into, well, what is a god then? Even for that to have significance, we have to have some reference point as to what we think a god is for it to even matter. I mean, what does it even matter, more so than calling you a rock or a stick or a cat or a dog? What is a god? But let's just go on the basic assumption that it is something that has powers and capabilities beyond what our perceived reality is in three-dimensional existence. Which way do I want to go? Go this way. So if that's the case, then why is it, peace almighty, Sister Lakeo, if that's the case, then why do we suffer? Because if we are something beyond this physical existence, why are we subject to suffering? And this is a tough one, because on one hand we learn that we have the power. First, we learn we have free will, and that exercising that will properly, we can change our surroundings, our existence, change our reality. We can manipulate reality. So if that's the case, then we may be led to think and or believe that if we are enduring what to us is suffering. It's like my wife always tells me that one of the things you learn as a nurse is that all pain is real. So when a patient says something hurts, you can't just dismiss it, because what you might not perceive as pain, in that person's reality, it's some very painful stuff. I remember years ago when I first started personal training, 2004, I remember I had a client who told me she suffered from fibromyalgia. Now, back then, that was a pretty new diagnosis. And basically, it's that something that they could not actually diagnose back then. So they gave it this term, where this person experiences excruciating pain, exhaustion, and other things. And, as the years would go on, research would come out about, well, what's the cause and so forth. And you find a lot of it's diet related and mental states, whole lot of stuff wrapped up in it. But then it also gave credence to the science of epigenetics. Well, basically, your environment plays a huge role in your wellness or lack thereof. But either way, pain is real. So the pain that you feel based on what we learn or we think we know of what metaphysics is, we then run the risk of feeling like we can't acknowledge pain. Feeling like if I acknowledge any suffering that I feel, it is me showing a weakness, or it's a lack of progression in my spiritual walk. Okay? And you may hear certain things from certain people that would lead you to really believe that, because sometimes we can put the facade out that to be on a certain level means that you're above mundane human experiences, existence, frailties, the ups and downs, the moments of feeling insecure, moments of lacking confidence, moments of feeling lonely, scared, confused. We're led to believe that as you rise up the path, look at this fucking asshole, won't sit and look at the damn wreck. It's fucking wreck, motherfucker. You've seen a million of them. God damn. Excuse me. So you feel as though if you display any of these feelings or emotions, it's a weakness. And this needs to be addressed, because here's the real reality, is that yes, you are of something beyond what you see. You are more than just your physicality. But the more you get a better understanding of creation itself and why creation occurred, at least this is my take on it. This retarded mother. It helps you to get a grasp of all of these experiences that you have while in creation, or while in human existence. Okay? If something that is very expansive needs to be contracted in order for it to be able to expand again, then that means all of the experiences that come along while being in a contracted phase are relevant. That means the pain is relevant. That means the suffering is relevant. The loneliness, the fear, the anxiety, the lack of confidence, all of the negatives that we may think that to be a spiritually inclined person, I'm not supposed to deal with that. I'm not supposed to feel that. I'm not supposed to respond to that. It becomes, what it becomes is the basic foundation for what Western psychology calls multiple personalities. Why do multiple personalities arise in basic psychology? It's because an event happened at some point, or a series of events happened that were so traumatic that your psyche was not able to process it and pushed it back into the recesses. And then as a result, it created multiple fragmented personalities that would be able to, that were attempting to process this traumatic event. And at certain times, these different characters arise. The same thing can happen in this journey by being dismissive. Oh, I rise above that. Oh, I don't. I remember we had a little gathering, and there was a brother there, and he was talking about his job and how first he expresses the human quality of he wants to be a manager on his job. And then when folks chimed in, then he wanted to express his God quality. Oh, I just rise above that. And see, that to me was a perfect example of the schizophrenic nature that can be created in us by misunderstanding what spirituality is. It's not a vehicle to bypass life. It's a vehicle to understand life and then to be able to transcend the problems or challenges that arise in life. Now we know on these jobs they create a whole lot of euphemisms that's a bunch of bull, but then again we can look at them and say, well, you could maybe pull something out of this. On the job, the new thing now is, you get evaluated and they tell you the stuff that they're going to tell you that you need to work on, or they, that's not up to par. They say, oh, here's another opportunity right here. Well, we've got an opportunity right here where we think that you could be a little more efficient in this area, and this is an opportunity, and blah, blah, blah. And you want to say, I'd like to take this opportunity to put my foot up your ass, but that's neither here nor there. But when we look at it in this on a spiritual level, there's maybe some validity to that. So not maybe, there is. And when a problem that arises, an issue that arises becomes an opportunity. An opportunity. I've told my story often about, financial woes and this and that, over the past years. And what they created, in essence, was an opportunity. An opportunity for me to disconnect. An opportunity for me to reconnect with what was important, disconnect from what was not as important. Now, let's give you a little bit of a little scripture here just to kind of fortify this. One time, I think it was around Easter, I think I talked about that whole story in the Bible at the crucifixion where the Roman centurion takes the spear and drives it through the side of, the Christ figure on the cross, and talked about what that really meant, symbolism. But let's look at another aspect of that story. We see in that story, they also reveal that it's customary to break the legs of the person who's crucified. Now, if you really understand that, you'll understand one of the secrets of the skull and bones. Why do they use the femur? That's two femur bones that that you see crossed on the skull and bones. Now, if you go and research the anatomy and physiology of your body, you'll find that on the femur, which is basically your thigh bone, which is the largest and strongest bone in your body. See, that's the key. And on that femur, you have a head on each femur. Okay, that rounded piece. If you look at the skull and bones, you know, you see at the top of the femur, there's a rounded piece. That's called the head. So if you apply the symbolism to this, then the two strong bones, which have heads on them, are broken. They're broken. So that the head in the middle can be illuminated. So that's why Christ's legs are not broken while on the cross. But the men to the left and right of him, their legs are broken. That would also be the towers that Samson knocked down after he regained his strength. What is this really saying? It's saying that in being broken, your divinity is realized. Now you can apply this across the board. You being born into human flesh is an example of being broken. The travails you've had in your life, bad failed relationships, bad treatment by your peers, your family, molestation, rape, robbery, murders, you name all of the worst things that could have happened. Why would these things be allowed to happen to you? Why me? And see, this is another thing you might think is not cool to ask this question. Why me? It ain't fair. Why did I have to go through this? And why didn't Jane Doe or John Doe have to go through this? Why me? Now see, some of these teachers will make you think if you're so advanced, you ain't supposed to ask that question. Bullshit. Again, you are having a human experience. And you can try to deny your emotions all you want, but it's just, you're lying to yourself. Because emotion is, as the word says, it's energy in motion. So it's not to try to deny it and suppress it. It is to let it come up and then understand it. That's where you transcend it through understanding it. That's where your divinity. That is why, again, why Christ is the one that don't have his legs broke. Because Christ represents also the middle pillar of Kabbalah, which is the understanding. And that is the true magic. See, magic has been misrepresented as some David Copperfield thing, you know, where, oh, I know some tricks that you don't know, and oh, I don't even have I don't even deal with any of that. I don't feel that stuff. That's for you lowly peasants. That's not what magic is. Magic is transcending problems, transcending issues, transcending setbacks. That's magic. Power is not realized until power is restricted. The word magic comes from the same root as the word power. Power is not realized until it is restricted. You put power in a circuit. A circuit restricts the power, therefore you can realize the power. Power must have to be formed. So why do I suffer? Because I'm being formed. Now the great tragedy is when you suffer and you never gain any understanding of it. Thus, you're like a leaf being blown to and fro in the wind. It is taking the time to analyze yourself, analyze your life, analyze your existence. And what has been lost with a lot of, yes, information is abundant. And everybody's been able to look at videos and things, and now they can say, I'm conscious, and oh, I know I'm a God, and this. But what has been lost in all of that is, you know, in the olden days, or ancient times, you know, they had schools that people went through. They call it a mystery system. And these things will go on for years. And, you know, there was a laboring process. Now, we're not trying to say that's a different era. And, you know, approaches and mechanisms apply for the era that they occur in. It's not for us to try to go back and recreate ancient Egypt. And, you know, we're going to be in a temple for 40 years studying. But it should be some type of middle point that we work towards. Meaning there's too much of, we've gone from the left brain training that we had as children, where you are drilled in your head about you got to remember stuff and learn your spelling words and behave and be still, walk quietly through the hallway. You know, that's all training you to be a very left brain person. Well, the problem is there's no balance. So then we go completely to the right brain. Okay? And there's a movement about, you know, where you just need to go inside and pull out all the answers. And, you know, but here's the thing. If you never order or structure the power that is inside of you, what's going to be the difference from the way you were before you so-called became conscious and aware than where you are now? Only difference is now you know that there's electricity behind that outlet on the wall. But if you've not been trained how to deal with the circuitry, and you have not put any time in to study the circuitry, then you still won't know how to use the outlet. It's not enough just to know that I have access to electricity. You got to put some time in and some labor into developing what you have. That comes back to your left brain. So you can't approach this from, well, I was this way and now I'm going completely over to the opposite. That's another trick. That's not metaphysics. That is escapism. And you know, I want to be careful about your language. You know, oh, I'm tired of life. I'm tired of this existence and this and that. You know what'll happen? You'll find yourself battling for your life, and then all of a sudden you want to live. Because you got to be careful selling wolf tickets, because the things we say form our reality. So I used to be the person up until recently like maybe last year, a year before last, really talking down about money. Money. And I understand what the word money really means. It's energy, mind. But with me taking such a vitriol approach to talking about money, guess what? I furthered along my reality of being broke. And see, let me tell you why that ain't gonna cut it. Because, see, a lot of these people who own this fuck life shit, you have to examine, do they have children? Do they, and if they do they take care of them? Have they, how are they living? Do they have responsibilities outside of wiping their own ass? Do they have anybody else dependent? See, it's easy to take that complete far to one side stance when you don't have any responsibilities. And then let me tell you for myself, a lot of people are angry because of failures in their lives, and it makes it a lot easier to say, oh, fuck life. See, but if you go and dig deep, there's a lot of bitterness because of lack of accomplishment or failure in their lives. And see, this path is not about saying that I can't be able to take my wife out and have a decent dinner at a restaurant we like, or I can't, buy my children a nice little outfit if I want to get them, or take them to a little play that comes in town. And see, now, how selfish is that when it comes to your children or your significant other? Because here's the thing. We can say fuck life all we want, but what if this world does not end as fast as we say it do, and you leave your progeny here to live in it, and you have not given that child any of the other side to contemplate to make their life here a little more pleasing or pleasant so that they can do the great work? See, I had to check myself on that. Yeah. You got all this knowledge and this and that, but that shit is not enough. See, this experience of being a god thrust into a human reality forces you to you got to be able to juggle. That's my art. Yesterday we talked about the word damn, and how we can flip it to Adam, to mad, and they all come back to tell you about a divine story. And we talked about how the M and the N are interchangeable. Damn becomes Dan. Dan means judge in Hebrew. To judge, you have to be able to divide. That means to see something on the left, see something on the right, and balance them. It's not enough just to be, super spiritual and whatever. You came here to experience, but not just the experience to be a helpless participant. You came to experience so that you could restore your godhood through the experience. You would know yourself through being ignorant, through trials and tribulations, through suffering. You would be ignorant, but you would become wise through that suffering. And there is a Geborah, there is a Hesed. As sure as there is a Bina, there is a Hokmah. As sure as there is a Natzif, that is a Yesod. All pushing you towards the middle, towards Tefereth, towards Yod, even towards Malkuth. Pushing you towards the middle, which is a concentration of energy that materializes in the middle point. Even if you're looking at the front of the tree and the back of the tree, that tree on the back, the Qalipoth, it points down. The tree on the front, the Kabbalah, points up. Well, just think about this. A lot of your vegetables sprout up out of the ground. But you see a lot of your fruits that hang off a tree, they do what? They hang down. Now, does that mean that the fruit is bad because it hangs down? Qalipoth? Does it mean that the vegetable is bad because it points up? Kabbalah? Or front side, day side? No. You eat your fruits and you eat your vegetables. They're all part of your nourishment. All part of your nourishment. So, it's just a little food for thought. I can't tarry any longer. I got to get in and run in Walmart, get some stuff real quick, and get back to the house. Let's see. Peace to everybody that's on. Erica said, facts, bro. People be so careless with their words. Even the conscious people are the worst. Because, you become conscious, you think you know everything. Ricochet said, or Ricochet said, thanks for the uplift, bro. I asked for transmission for wisdom overstanding when I went on my 10-hour break trucking, and you on topic. Cosmos said, right on, brother, right on. What's up, Luis? What's up, Coach McGee? You're very welcome, Lakeo. What's up, Dab? Everybody else who might be on. Just some food for thought. Keep that in mind. Don't think that you have to dismiss what you're feeling, but at the same time, you don't allow yourself to succumb to it. You are the tree, and thus you have the ability to balance out everything going on in your life. And the true magic is in transcending, turning water into wine, turning shit into sugar. This brother Jamal, mastersofthecosmos.com, reminding you to stay down till you get up. When you get up, stay down. Peace.